welcome back to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. Today I want to welcome to the show one of my longtime friends. He's a TTP representative, a semi-squad legend.
Okay.
My brother Mike Veezy.
What's going
Welcome
on?
to the show, my brother.
What's going on, my man? What's going on?
Man, I'm good, bro. You know, it's like I told you, man, when we got together a little bit ago, man, I said I gotta get you on, bro. You know, I know you got a story, man, and you know, just a little bit that I did hear from you when you told me the first time, I was like, I got to hear more of that. You know, if for me, I need to hear it, you know, and you know, I know it's a lot of other people that would appreciate your story and everything that you've been through, and you know, even for people that don't know you, you know, or there might be people that might say they know you but might not really know, you know, why you are the way that you are, man. And one of my first questions I like to ask, man, is what was your relationship like with your dad?
Oh man. Honest answer to that, man, is I ain't never met him. Never met him a day in my life, bro.
Dang.
I don't even know his name. I don't know how he looked. I don't know nothing about him. You know, I heard some names, you know, growing up, but nobody never stuck around, you know, and came out and like, yeah, I'm your dad. You know, so yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
But and how do you think that whole dynamic right there, like never even, not even just meeting, but not even knowing your dad, like how do you think that was something that really affected you as you grew into, you know, and grew into your own, into a man?
When I look back at it now, I'm surprised I made it this far without a father, you know, or even a father figure, because I ain't had no father figure either. I ain't never had no, you know, no man that was around my mom like that in the household or nothing like that either. So I got a lot of uncles and brothers, you know. That's pretty much how that, you know, story goes with my family. But looking back on it, it just, like I said, it just made me surprised that I even made it this far, you know, because I don't know if it was times, because I went through so much, man, with foster homes and all this stuff. I don't know if I really had too much time to focus on even having a father at the time, you know, because, and the crazy thing is, I got 3 brothers and 1 sister. Everybody know their father but me, and the only one out of all my mother's kids who don't know who their father is.
Dang.
You know, so, you know, that's weird, but, you know, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, that's real, man. And, you know, so, like you just mentioned, you know, you came up, you had, well, before I even ask you about that, this is something that always blow me away, bro. You know, when I sit down with guys that I done known since, well, we knew each other since middle school, bro. It always blow me away the fact that, bro, like it's so many guys that I call my friends and, you know, my brothers, and it's like, how come I ain't never know this stuff? Like it's like, I'm like, you know, I think with young black men, it's so normal for us to not know our dads and to not be connected with our dads that it's not even something that come across our mind. Like, you know, as we jits, it ain't never crossed my mind. Like, damn, I wonder what Mike daddy at. You know, they ain't never crossed my mind ever in my life. Like, damn, I wonder what Mike daddy at. You know, but that's something that's weird. Like, you know, it's like we don't even, it's not even a thing to us. It's like, well, shoot, like I ain't got my daddy either. Like, so it ain't something that we ever really think about, and it literally just blow my mind, you know, that I know people from elementary school, middle school, you know, and I'm like, dang, I would have never even get, like, not even guess. Like, it just ain't something that ever even crossed my mind, bro.
Yeah, and I how I feel about that is I think it's just it might just come in stages, man. You know, back then we was kids. You know what I'm saying? We probably was thinking about kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can't think of too many of my friends, you know, whose house I used to go to that had a dad in there, but. You know, our boy Ronnie, you know what I'm saying? His dad still, his mom and dad still together to this day and drawing. It's a couple other people, but not many.
Yeah.
And,
like you said, all I ever remember was Ronnie and Vince.
Yeah, Vince too.
That was it, really. Out of, the circle we had, it was like, I ain't never seen nobody daddy except for Ronnie daddy and Vince. Yeah. And really, that was it, bro. Like, I mean, and KJ. Yeah. And Mr. KJ.
Yeah, it's just a couple names out there too, but I have to sit there and think about it. But point is, man, like we was kids back then, so you know we too busy worrying about the ways of the world as kids back then. You know, it ain't hit us till now. You know what I'm saying? When we sit back and have kids and reflect on life and go through things, and you know, and it all might depends on how your life set up too. You know, being that I grew up where I grew up and how I grew up, like I said, I just had too much going on to be worrying about that. It was times, don't get me wrong, it was times that I thought about it, but like I said, it was too much going on to really like let it get to me and affect me and how the way I move on life. The only thing I took from it was I made a vow to myself that, you know, all my kids, if I ever have them, and I eventually did, that they all gonna at least know who their father is, and I try my hardest to do that.
Straight up.
To make sure they all know that they got a father out there.
Straight up. You know, and I think that's something that really made us stronger, man. You know, the fact that we didn't have our dad, you know, like that was unfortunate, but you know, everything got a purpose. You know, everything happened for a reason. And I think, you know, when I look at our generation, a lot of us grew up without dads, and now you see that trend changing now. Like, you see guys really out here trying to fight for their children, you know, to be in the life of their children, because they know how they grew up and how it affected them. You know, like you say, as we've gotten older, it's like, well, ain't no way I'ma just, like, I ain't even gonna try. No, I can't let it go down like that, you know. And I think that's how most people, you know, our age now, you know, I think that's how we think now, because we understand, you know, the importance of having a dad, just having a role model, male role model, period. You know, and that's something that, you know, that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because I'm like, man, you know, I know too many dads out here, bro, especially black dads that are involved in the lives of their children, you know, regardless of what people say or how the media try to paint it right now. It's like, man, I know too many dudes out here that really love their children, involved in their children's lives, and if they're not, for whatever reason, man, I know cats right now fighting, you know, trying to make that something that's possible, you know, and you know, that's something that I really appreciate from a lot of men out here today.
Yeah, I think another reason that trend starting now too is, you know, not to, you know, disrespect anybody or anything like that, but you got this trend now where a lot of, you know, women are getting pregnant and not, you know, staying with the fathers. And, you know, you got a lot of single mothers going on around here, and, you know, some of them don't get along with the fathers and all that, and it's all kind of domestic foolishness that's going on, you know, behind the scenes, to where, you know what I'm saying, it may look like the father ain't doing his job, but really he fighting, like you said earlier, trying to get, you know, in his child's life, and not able to. So, you know, things happen, and you know, some people step up and do what they gotta do.
That's real. I wanted to revisit this, man. You said something about foster care. What was that experience like?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't as bad as most people had or people I've met told me about, you know, because a lot of people I met that's been in foster homes, been in multiple homes and stuff. I was fortunate enough to be in one home the whole time I was in foster home, and I don't know, man. I think the universe just worked out in my favor with that one. You know, it was an experience, you know, that kind of affected me because it took me away from my family. But I was moving around so much growing up. It was like I didn't really know what to think of what was going on around me. But the people was good people. They was, you know, luckily by the grace of God, they were friends with, you know, the woman who raised me, who I call my mother. They was real good friends when I think we went to school together, something like that. Yeah. And they worked it out to where I was able to still see my, you know, my family and stuff like that without, you know, under the table and all that. So, you know, that was good. But the family was straight. The experience, it was just, like I said, I think it was one of the most disciplined situations I ever been in, to be honest, because it was a mother and a father, you know. The father there, he was always working when he didn't. He used to take us to church a lot and stuff like that. But when he wasn't working, he was sleeping and stuff like that. But they used to take us places and stuff like that. But he didn't really do too much, you know, with the kids as far as like teaching them values and being a father. You know, he was there. You know, made sure everything was doing what it was supposed to do. But he ain't never really played that role. So, but the situation was cool.
That's great. That's great. That's what's up. You know, I don't think I ever talked with nobody that really just been through that system like that. As far as anybody that's been on the show, man, that's an interesting dynamic right there, man.
Yeah, I was 11 years old when I went into foster care.
Yes, so going into, okay, so now that's 10, 11. What was the age where you first found out that you was gonna be a dad?
I think I was 16, going on 17. It started early, man.
Yeah.
16 going on 17. I think I was 17 when he was actually born.
What was the initial thought that came through your mind? Like,
I remember when I first, you know, when the situation first happened, you know, not getting too much detail, but I was in shock, man. To the point to where I cried myself to sleep right where I was and woke up and I was hoping it was a dream, but it wasn't. You know, I didn't know what to do, who to tell, how to tell them. You know, I was lost. But and then I eventually, I think during the time of her pregnancy, I ended up going to jail to one of those little programs for kids and everything. So I ended up missing the day that he was born. I wasn't out, you know, but when I finally got out, he was, I think, about 6 months old when I seen him for the first time. Yeah. And that's when it hit me, you know, that I was a father. You know, yeah. You know, and I still didn't know how to handle it then, but that's when it this is a creation for me.
Alright.
So 17 years old.
So everything before then, it prepared you. Like, how would you say that, you know, like what really prepared you for like that pressure, you know? Because I know, you know, having kids of my own, and I know for me, you know, I ain't have a child till I was married. So like, I always look at my situation, like I always tell, you know, I be talking with my little brother all the time, and I be like, you know, I look at my situation like, I know a lot of people ain't as fortunate to, like, I ain't even planned it the way it went, but it's like almost everything kind of worked out perfect for me, you know, and I'm like, and it's like, I realized that everybody ain't have this story, like, you know, I ain't moved out my mom's house until I got married. Then I went and got my own place, moved in with my wife. Then once we moved in, then we had a child. And it's like, it was hard for me, you know, and I was, at least, you know, I'm in a relationship, like married and everything. And it was still kind of like scary for me, you know. I ain't even gonna say kind of. It was like real scary. Like, shoot, boy, that's a child. So now I got to take care of this child,
Yeah.
you know. And so I can only imagine for people that didn't like ain't even in the position that I was in, like how like that jump was scary, bro. I ain't even gonna front with you.
And then on top of that, imagine coming home from, jail and not having no job. You ain't finished high school yet, none of that, So I still had to come back and do all that.
Yeah.
On top of being a father, I remember when I started college, I was working 2 jobs when I was in college as well, just to, support, my first child. And I ended up having another one during that time as well. So it was, that whole period of time was crazy for me, but the pressure was definitely there because being that I was in the foster home situation, I ain't, my family, they moved away when I was young and everything. So I pretty much, besides the woman who raised me, I pretty much was on my own the whole time. So the pressure was always there. Like, the pressure is always there. Even to this day, the pressure is always there because at the end of the day, I'm always responsible for myself. Like, I ain't got nobody that I can call, when I'm in the trenches, that's guaranteed to take me out, But the universe always seemed to work out for me, but that's really what it is with me.
That's real. That's real, bro. Like, like even just hearing that, man, I want to extend myself to you, bro. Like, for real, like, dog, you ever need anything, bro, like, somebody to talk to. Like I say, well, I know the pressures, bro. Like, and I'm in a whole different situation, like, and it still be pressure for me. So like I say, like, and I be thinking about that type of stuff. Like, I be thinking about how hard stuff be for me at times, being a father and stuff. How much pressure I feel like be on me. But then again, it's like I always know, like, man, somebody else would love this situation. Like, somebody else would love, what I got going on. As much pressure as I be feeling like I have on me, I'm like, I know everybody ain't in this position. So it's like, and it just helped me, it humbled me, because it's like, even just hearing that, it's like, I can only imagine, bro.
Yeah, but at the same time, we all adults, and anybody who around here with kids or adult period, we gonna deal with pressures every day. Every day, we just it's a battle. Every day is its own battle. We just gotta go out here and handle our business. But it's just like with my situation, it was just like I'm surprised because like people who know me, like they tell me all the time, like, man, I'm like, the way you even handle it, the way you walk around, like, people ain't never noticed, like, you've been through certain things you've been through, or grew up the way you did, because you don't show it. You got a good way of masking it, and,
straight up.
I don't know how I do it, but I don't know. Like, I feel like I think the pressures, I think they at the end of the day, they worth it when you see what you create grow up and be better than you. And you invest the time that wasn't invested in you, and you see the finished product. That's what make the pressures worth it.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to think about, when I do it. One, I try to think about that I'm not the only one out here that's going through this pressure. You know what I'm saying? That two, you know what I'm saying? You gotta fight for what, you made that bed, you gotta lay in it, man, So you just gotta go out there and handle your business.
Straight up. That's real. So you was one day I know we were talking, and you was telling me about your whole situation with getting custody of your son. And I want you to just kind of talk about that whole situation.
Okay. All right. Well, I just recently got custody of my 11-year-old. He 11-year-old now. His name's Jalen. He's the second out of 4 children that I have, and he's the second oldest. He had got taken from his mother a couple months back from DCF. And you know, I just did what I was supposed to do, just stepped up to the plate, long story short, and took the necessary steps to get custody of him. It was a tragic situation. My heart goes out to his mother and, you know, his siblings, you know, because, you know, the reason behind him getting taken, you know, it was a lot. It was deep. And crazy thing is, he was the same age I was when I got taken. You know, when all this went down. So I don't know what's going on, but all I know is I got him.
Yeah,
I got him. You know, but anything you need me to tell you within the details, you know.
That's real. That's real. So what's that experience been like, you know, now that you were, in so many ways, bro, you basically a single dad now. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't think people put enough, that's not highlighted enough. Because I know a few, like I know single dads, bro, and it's like people never talk about that. It's like it's always, you know, single mom. And I understand because there are a lot of single moms out there.
And that's just the way it goes by default. You know, they the one who carry the kids, they the one who take care of the kids. So.
Yeah. But it's like, I know that there's some single dads out there, man. I want to know what that experience has been like for you. Like,
well, it's still fresh for me, but it's like, to be honest, it's a little easier just because he's older. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I ain't got to, you know, do all the lead work that they had to do when they was growing up, you know. And I still give his mother all the respect, you know, for doing her job, you know, up until this point. And I wish she handled her business and get her situation better as well, you know. And for the time being, I'm going to make sure our son's straight. And shout out to my mom. You know, she helps. She's always been the biggest hand, the woman who I speak of, who took me in once I went into the foster home. Not my actual foster mother, but it was a member of the family who took me in, you know, from the foster home. And she pretty much always been there. And he loves her, he loves me. He always wanted to stay with me. He actually lived with me at one point when he was younger, when me and his mom was together. So it ain't like he didn't know me. Yeah. But when me and his mom fell out, we fell out hard. So it kind of created some turmoil there. And it was situations where she was denying me or I couldn't get around him some kind of way. It was periods of time where I couldn't see him. And I eventually, you know, got the chance to gain full custody of him. And it ain't even been 6 months yet, but you know, I got him right before the COVID-19 thing started, so that was tough. You know, I had to do the little homeschool thing, and he was in 5th grade going to the 6th, so I had to make sure he pushed as hard as he could push to go and close his year out and graduate and go to middle school. And he did that, so shout out to my son for doing that. Yeah. And you know, he in that big kid stage right now, man, where he, you know, wants to sit there and play video games all day and, you know, chat with his friends, hang out, you know. But I'm just glad that I finally get the chance to prove to myself, because I ain't never, you know, stay around none of the mothers long enough to raise them and, you know, teach them values, you know, that I learned, because I can't say that I was taught them by any men. If I learned any of them, it was from women. Yeah. And from my experience, from what I went through and seeing other people going through. But I just, you know, finally got in a position to where I could instill those values into them, you know. So I just hope I do a good job, you know. The road, you know, I just started, so yeah. So far so good.
I salute you, bro, for real. Like, that's, you know, and that just I pray that if there's any fathers out there that's going through, you know, that same situation, man, you know, you gotta keep that hope alive. You know, you can't give up, you know, and when the opportunity presents itself, you just gotta be ready. You know, you got to be ready to take on that task, because, you know, you just never know what might happen. Like, anything in life can happen. You know, we all go through it, dog. We all got situations that we up against, and, you know, you just never know. So if that something just happens, and then it's on you to go get your child, like,
Exactly.
You know, you just got to always be ready, dog. Like I said, I salute you, bro.
Yeah, because I didn't even see that coming, man, to be honest. Like I told you when I seen you, I got a phone call that said I need to, you know, give DCF a phone call. And when I called them, they told me that my son just got taken away from his mom and he going to be in court the next morning. I need to be there. And I managed to make it there, and they told me what was going on, and I ain't missed a court date.
Yeah.
Long story short, I ain't missed a court date, and I did everything they told me to do to get possession of them, and that's where we at with it right now.
That's real. Dang, boy. Yeah, like I say, bro, I salute you, bro. So, I want to kind of go into this next thing. So, as I'm gonna plug this computer up. Oh damn, homie. But so I sent you these songs, man, because it's like I've been really looking at, you know, I've been posed with a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks. Like, you know, I've been talking with a lot of guys, you know, and we just been having discussions about, you know, music, not music, but about problems like in the hood. Like, how do we fix these problems? You know, we got so many things going on in our community right now, bro. Like, you got people being shot down by police. Like, you got all this police brutality. Then you got, you know, just around here in Gainesville, it's like we got jits out here wilding, you know, doing all types of things, man. And, you know, it's like I've been asked just been posed with so many questions, like, man, what can we do to help the youth? Like, you know, what's even the problem? Like, what's going on? And, you know, I listen to so much music, and I know that you are an artist. Mm-hmm. You are an artist, man.
I wouldn't call it all that.
Yeah. You are an artist, my boy. And it's like, I like when I sit back and I talk with people who are artists, and it's like, damn, what was I listening to, man? I was listening to somebody. I think it was Lecrae. Lecrae had a TED talk, like one of these lectures he had, and he was talking about hip hop and how hip hop has always been looked, you know, people nowadays, like, they demonize it and make it like, if it's just hip hop, it's just all bad. And he was like, you know, it ain't. Like, hip hop and rap, like, that's just an art, you know, it's an art form. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know, it ain't. The art form is just what we do with the art form sometimes. It's like, you know, we can use it for bad and we can use it for good, just like with anything else. You know, a gun ain't bad in itself. Like, a gun is just a gun. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a weapon. You can either use it to protect yourself from someone trying to intrude on you, your privacy, or you can use it to attack someone.
You use it to go hunting if you want to.
Like, you know, so it's not necessarily bad, you know, it's just what some people would do with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so he was just talking about, you know, hip hop and how he's used hip hop to try and help hit the community that he grew up in. And like, even when you go back to the origins of it, you know, you go all the way back, you know, and it was always something that was used as a tool, you know, for people. It gave people a voice, you know, really, I like to say it gave the voiceless a voice, you know, people like us that ain't have no voice, and these boys started raising up and, you know, they led a whole movement. And it's like, as over the years, you started to see, it was like, it started being used in other ways. And when you look at the youth, one of the guys that I sent that video from, the dude D1, he used to be a teacher.
Oh, why he looked familiar to me.
Yeah, I think he was about to sign with Cash Money at one point. He was about to sign with Cash Money, and he ended up just going independent. And D1, he started out as a teacher, and he was saying that one thing that he always noticed was like, man, them kids was never like they was all into music. Like, all of their influences were rappers. It was like, straight up. It was like, if you talk to one of the young men, like, their influential figures in their life was rappers. So he was like, shoot, man, I'm gonna stop teaching and I'm gonna start rapping. Like, he was like, he already did it anyways, but he was like, I'm gonna go, drop this career and I'm gonna go and rap, so that I can have more influence on the kids that I'm trying to lead. And so on the song that he talked about, the one I sent you is called Hood Villains. And there's the question posed in the song was, what's the problem in the hood? And I think he gave 3 scenarios. He gave is it the drug dealers? Is it the Uncle Tom? Or is it the system?
The system.
And each one had good points. Like, and of course there's many other things we could go on. It's people that say it's the church. It's people that say it's drugs. Some people say it's music. Some people say all type of thing that people say is the problem in the hood. And I just kind of wanted to get your take on that. Like, what do you think is really the problem in our community? Like, what is it that's holding us back?
Well, I mean, it's clear from what's going on today in the world that we still haven't been treated as equals yet. That's pretty much how I want to sum it all up. You could bring all those points he talked about in the one, amongst other things. But to sum it all up to me is just, we still ain't equals yet. We might got some rights, but we not equals to these people yet. And I got all the respect for every race we deal with around here, but apparently they all don't have respect for us. So that's what the problem is. Nobody respects us, as a part of society, as one with them, side by side. It's always under them, behind them, something like that. But they don't respect us. So I think that's the problem, and it just that just brings on a whole lot of other problems with the, like I said, everything he said, ain't nobody really, like, you look at the protests that used to go on back then, you ain't seen, like, now you starting to see a little something, but not really. You don't see nobody really stepping up to the plate to, willing to die for this, and now that we got all this technology, social media it's crazy that social media has more influence than school. So I understand why he quit teaching and started rapping, because people in school listen to music. They ain't even doing schoolwork nowadays, at the school. So it make all the sense why he felt that way. But that's just a prime example, of the type of influence that that's changed since back then. Back then they didn't even have all that. It was just going on every day in the world. It was worse. But now, it's more undercover, but people starting to catch it and stuff like that via social media. So it's just, ain't nobody really stepping up to the plate, willing to die for it. Like, how Malcolm X used to talk about it or something like that, the Black Panthers. Martin Luther King used to want equality, but ain't nobody trying to do that.
They killed off the leaders, bro. They killed off the leaders, and it's like you say, bro. I think they don't really see us like that, bro. I think at the end of the day, it's like it's gonna really take for us, bro, for us to like really start coming together as a community. Because it's like if we wait on them and we wait on them to say, well, we gonna do this for y'all, or we gonna try to work. Like honestly, I don't think they gonna ever see us like that, bro. Like
Never.
honestly, that's just my
We in
personal.
our 30s now,
Yeah,
and this was going on
yeah,
before
bro.
us.
I don't think it's.
You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
even think it's set up like that. In all honesty, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think they ever gonna see us like that, bro. It ain't. I used to be. You kind of used to have a little hope about it, but I'm like, I don't even think that's even the point. Like, so what? Like, okay, if y'all don't see us like that, okay, cool. Like, we ain't got like, and I've been going back to the 20s, bro. 100 years ago, bro. Where, I think it was 1919, Red Summer, where they was in so many ways, they was like, man, we ain't dealing with y'all like that. And then that was how Black Wall Street, and so I think Black Wall Street was built out of that. With them just saying they ain't gonna deal with us like that. Man, our people like, okay, cool. We gonna support ourselves. We gonna support each other. And we all know the story of Black Wall Street and how these people had this thriving community, all out of the fact that some people was like, we don't see y'all as our equal. And it's like, okay, cool. Like that's fine. But we gonna make sure we straight. At the end of the day, we all gonna eat, and we have enough to support each other for everybody to eat, man. And when I look at music, like, I just feel like when it comes to music, I think we gotta really get back to empowering each other with that music, because it's such a powerful tool, bro. It's like that's something every day I'm on, bro. Like every day, it's like I gotta have some music. I because that's how at times I find my inspiration. I find my motivation. I'm motivated and inspired to just keep going because of certain songs I can listen to, and things that I can like put into my mind. And I think that's what even with that, I don't even think some of these kids even want that right now. Honestly, bro. Like,
I don't think so either.
Because it's out there. The music is out there.
Yeah, but so many people, it's like the people making music, they not. It's more of them making it for the money, because they seeing the rappers with all the ice in the cars, the women. They doing it for that, instead of doing it for the voice. You got a small percentage of people doing it for the, to try to change. So those are the ones you have to dig for and find, on YouTube or SoundCloud or something like that. You don't really, or you might have a small percentage like a J. Cole or something out there, or something like that. But everybody else is really just trying to make money. So it's like the way of the world's changed, and I don't think it's gonna get better, in our time at least. I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't see a proper solution, because we ain't got enough people in the proper places of power to make the changes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's up to the people themselves, and that's not enough for these governments and these armies and these police officers and stuff like that. So we gonna forever be at a disadvantage. But hopefully one day somebody crack the code, man. I don't know how close we getting, but like I said, it ain't happened yet. So
yeah, man. I just think I don't know, bro. Hopefully, honestly, at times I be thinking like, man, I don't even care no more. Like I say, man, I'm all about trying to make sure I do what I can, do my part to empower those around me, my brothers, and I started a podcast for Black dads so we can talk, so that we can sit down and really encourage each other, man, and just, I don't think we even talk enough to each other, man, and really get to know each other and, even feel comfortable enough to open up to one another.
That's because the society made us that way, man. Like, we're too busy having to, go out here and be men, man.
Yeah.
That's that's what society put in our mental. Every day we wake up, we have to go out here and be men, bro. We have to take care of women, kids, responsibilities. Like, we have to be men every day, so we don't have too many situations where we can sit down and let off our steam. You know what I'm saying? Because men naturally aren't emotional people like females is. So you ain't gonna see us like catching mental breakdowns in the middle, like, 'cause we having a bad day at work or something like that. Like, we gonna play it cool, and whatever vice we may have to help us get rid of that, like you said, music or whatever, we'll go, do that behind the scenes. But our job is to be men and wear that armor, so everybody can see that. You know what I'm saying? Too many people don't. If you do, people try. Society frown upon that for some reason. But if you're a real man, you're a real man and recognize a real man, as being, somebody who trying to take care of their responsibilities and their people.
Straight up, man. Yo, bro. Like we just gotta keep on helping each other, bro. Like, we gotta really beat up for each other. I think that's something that I just feel like that's my mission. Like, I want to help us help each other, like, because if men, just imagine, like, just the black men, bro, if we start coming together the way we supposed to, bro, and really helping take that burden off each other, because I don't think we got to carry those burdens alone. At times, we feel like that, like, man, I got to do this, I got to do this by myself. And it's like, man, if we just recognize that we here for each other, like, bro, you can call me, bro. You can ask me for help. You can tell me, hey, bro, like, I might need you for an hour today, bro. Or I need you, 30 minutes, bro. Or I need you to come over here. I need this right here. And it's like, if we can start to communicate with each other, and I think that's something that even the society is scared of, for black men to really come together because of the strength that we have. And if we can all start coming together and start coming up with ideas and plans together and working together, man, bro, that's a scary thing for them, I think. That's a scary thing.
That is one big thing we lack: unity. Like, we gotta get solid some kind of way as a race, as a community. We gotta find some kind of way to really stick it together and have everybody fully committed to the same cause, to the point where we could make the impact that we want to, on the world or on our communities.
That's real.
So I agree with that.
Man, I want to ask you this. Knowing everything you know right now, what you about the same age as me, 31, ain't it? So, knowing everything you know at 31, bro, what would you tell 18-year-old Mike Vaughn?
I probably would have told him to be his own person, man, because it was a point in time where he wasn't making a lot of his decisions. He was making a lot of other people's decisions, and that caused him to get into a lot of sticky situations and created a tougher one for him. And even to this day, I'm reaping. I'm suffering the consequences of some of the decisions I made at 18 and during that period of time. So I probably would have told him to be his own person, man. Make his own decisions. Like, be your own person, because now I'm to the point where I don't care what nobody think. I don't care what nobody feel. Like, I don't care. We never talk again, So it's like, that's how I should have felt back then.
That's real. So there's another, if you can say anything to a young father out there right now, what would you tell a young father? What advice would you give him if it was just one thing?
Don't give up. Don't give up, man, because it's really, like I said, the odds always gonna be against us as black people, as black men, as black fathers. Odds always gonna be stacked against us, So like even with my situation before I got custody of my kid, a situation where I had to make myself not pursue the situation, just to keep myself, out of trouble or to make things worse, and it was hard. Like my mom used to have to tell me all the time, like, Mike, sometimes it's okay. He's young, you still got, like, he's your son. He's always gonna, like, he know you love him. You know what I'm saying? When the time is right, everything gonna fall into place. But you don't need to force anything. You know what I'm saying? He's not even at that time. He wasn't even at the age where he was really understanding what was going on.
Straight up.
Now I can have full conversations with him, and even after all the stuff we've been through and all the stuff his mama, tried to, do, and he remembers some of that stuff. He remembers some of that stuff, but man, he loved me, man. He loved me dearly. He loved me dearly. He been waiting for this day to come for him to be able to move me, man. Like I remember his big brother got a little jealous when he told him, like he was texting on the way home and telling him, I just moved with Pops. And he got him calling me, so you got Jalen now, and I'm like, man. So I had to stop by and pick him up and bring them both back home that day. I remember, man. It was a sweet moment.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. That's some good advice, dog. Never give up.
Never.
And I add on to that, for any young father out there, your child gonna always need you. And if you do give up, that one thing that child will always remember is the fact that you gave up.
Exactly.
They'll never forget that. But if you continue to fight, your child, even if you never get to where you want to get, your child will always remember that you fought. So always keep that in mind, that you gotta remain persistent, never give up. You gotta always do everything in your power to make sure you're doing your part. Even if it ain't working, make sure you do your part and, live with the outcome.
And another thing I want to add on to it too is every minute counts, man. No matter what anybody tells you, you know what I'm saying? Because, society these days try to make things financial when it comes to kids, man. But trust me, every minute counts, man. Like, it might not seem like it, even if you go a couple months without, like, trust me, them kids remember. Like, I remember growing up I still remember when I was 5, some of the stuff. So, like, they gonna remember the time. They not gonna remember these materials that you brought. You know what I'm saying? Because they go through phases and stuff steady changing. You know what I'm saying? It's toys that don't even exist no more that we was playing with. You know what I'm saying? So every minute counts, man. Remember that. Every minute, bro. Do not, deny yourself any minute. Don't let nobody deny you any minute. Don't let nobody make you think, no, that don't matter. The little time you doing don't matter. Nah, it matters. Every minute matters.
Well, that's so real. I can go all day on that one right there, boy.
That's
for real.
That's why my son feel the way he feel now. Like, it was situations where I wasn't able to pour as much into him financially as his mother, or as an average father can. Period. You know what I'm saying? There was times I couldn't at all. But the time that I put in made him still love me the same, or love me even more.
One thing my pastor used to always say, some daddies ain't dead beat, they just dead broke. He was like, and it's a big difference between, a lot of women be calling men dead beats, but really they ain't dead beat, they just dead broke. But they might not have money to just go splurge with the child, but man, if that man willing to go pick his kids up and take his kids to the playground, like you say, man, bro, I ain't have my daddy like that. Now he came in for little patches. Bro, I remember everything about them patches. I remember when that man taking me to Ryan's, right up there by off of Main Street. I remember him taking me to Quincy's out there by Red Lobster. I remember him taking me to Bob Evans back in the days. I remember him taking me to Crescent Beach back in the days. I remember the one time, just recently, bro, I just spent the night with my dad. I drove up to Tennessee to go see him with my kids. And I spent the night at his apartment. Bro, that was my second time in my life ever like sleeping in the same house as my dad. The other time, it was a long time ago. I don't know how old I was, but he was living off of 39th, right there by Cambridge, right next to the little trailer thing right there by the railroad.
Yeah, man, cause
He was living right there, and I never forget, bro. That man made some tacos, bro. The tacos and so, bro. I never forget it, bro. Like I be telling him, and he like, well, I don't remember that, but it's like, bro, I never forget like that image in my mind, like watching my dad make some tacos.
You know what I'm saying, if you keep doing that, bro,
your kids will never forget those moments, and it ain't even got to be like huge stuff, bro. Like, bro, I remember my daddy making a taco, bro.
I'm saying those little moments count, bro. All the little moments add up. If you keep doing that, that'll be enough, bro. Once the time comes, trust me, cause like
that's real.
Yeah, man.
That's real, man. So yeah, I think that's it, man. I think that's all. I think we gonna end it right there, man. You know, that was real, man. You know. Like I say, I'm always surprised, man, when I sit down with guys that I know from way back in the days, man. I just learned so much. And, you know, and it just make me, I got a greater appreciation for you, bro. Just knowing your story and knowing where you come from and knowing the things that you've been through and everything that you're still going through, man. And to see you still standing today, to see you still pushing, man, you know, like, nobody else ain't told you, dog. I'm proud of you, bro.
Man,
like,
I appreciate that.
You know, to see where you at, man, and to see what you're doing, bro. Like, that thing make me happy, bro. Like, it made me joyful just to know that that's another kid that got their dad, bro. Like, and that's a proud moment for me, bro. Just knowing, like, that's a win for fatherhood, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a win for fatherhood, man. I appreciate you, man, coming on the podcast, man, and sharing, you know, your story. And man, I really appreciate this time, bro, being able to sit down with you, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you need me, you already know.
Sure.
I'm here for you.
Well, that wrap up this episode of Dad Can We Talk. Y'all stay tuned. We got some stuff coming for Father's Day. I still don't know what everything is looking like in the city, but I think I got something up my sleeve. So y'all stay tuned. Dad Can We Talk.